Folks are joining. Does it say we're notifying viewers? Oh, good. All right. Hello. Hey, guys. Did you get the mod thing? How's everyone doing? We're just going to let everyone filter in before we get started.
I'm good.
Okay. All right, welcome, welcome. Hi, Kayla. How's everyone doing? We have a fun question if you want to answer in the chat. Go ahead.
I want to know what everybody's favorite 2000s movie is.
So if you guys have a favorite 2000s movie, drop it in the comments.
Mine is Mean Girls.
It's a classic.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go with 13 Going on 30.
I have to watch that. That is such a good movie.
Almost Famous, absolutely an amazing movie. I love that one.
Is that the Kate Hudson one?
Mm-hmm.
Good one.
All right, getting started here.
Oh, Walk to Remember. Don't do that. I'll cry.
I think that was like the first movie I sobbed to. Jennifer's Body. Okay, when I first saw that movie, I was absolutely terrified, but I loved it, and I thought it was very unfair that it got so much hate, and I think now it's being vindicated, and I'm very happy about that.
It's The Princess Bride 2000s. I don't know.
I don't know either, but I love that movie. We can count
Yeah.
it. Oh, hi, Candace. The Notebook, another classic. Did anyone read the book?
No.
I read the book. It's great.
Is it good?
It's
No.
really good.
What
Hi, Shelley.
What happened to those Nicholas Sparks movies? They don't make them anymore.
I don't know. Hello, Jessica. All right. I think people are kind of filtering in now, so we can go ahead and get started. But feel free to keep dropping in 2000s movies. We love this. This will be uploaded on YouTube after the fact, so if you have to drop out, that's okay. You can view it later on our YouTube channel, and we'll be sharing the link to that probably tomorrow on our social channels. All right, well, welcome. I'm Danielle. I'm the social media manager at Planoly, and we're going to be talking with my coworker, Aurora. She is our digital marketing specialist here. We're going to do a little SEO walkthrough and chat. Pretty informal, so if you have questions, go ahead and drop them in the chat. I'm not sure if there's a Q&A section, but we'll do a Q&A at the end, so if you have any questions, again, you can just drop them in the chat and we'll hopefully get to them. We'll get to as many as we can. To get started, I'll just go over my role as a social media manager. I kind of oversee day-to-day the posting, obviously the community management on all of our channels. And then I do a lot of research, I film content, I make content, and just kind of implement the strategies that we're going to be using on a monthly, quarterly, yearly basis. So that involves a lot of TikTok now, and with that comes a lot of emerging voices on the best way to do things on TikTok, the latest strategies, and one thing that we've been hearing a lot about is SEO. So we thought it would be a great opportunity to have our in-house SEO expert here answer some questions and kind of dip our toes into the world of SEO, because a lot of people don't know. If it's not your specialty, then it's kind of hard to understand and get into. It's a whole job on its own. So Aurora, do you want to give us a little insight into what you do on a day-to-day basis as our digital marketing specialist?
Yeah. Again, my name is Aurora, and I've been working in SEO for, it's probably the 8th year this year, and I started working in SEO with really small and local to medium-sized businesses. So if you have questions about that, let us know. But yeah, so I've been working in SEO for 8 years, and in the past 2 years of being with Planoly, I've been really diving my toes into what SEO is like for social media platforms. So we're going to answer some of those questions today.
Cool, awesome. And we're going to start off with me asking Aurora some questions, and then if those spark any questions from you guys, you can pop them in the chat. But just to get us started, what is SEO exactly?
Okay, so SEO stands for search engine optimization. And basically what it is a collection of techniques and best practices aimed to optimize your piece of content to increase its visibility in whatever search engine you're talking about, be it Google, Instagram, or TikTok.
All right. So I feel like most people, since SEO for like social platforms is kind of, I would say, a more recent development that people are getting into. Most traditionally, like I'm really only aware of SEO on Google.
Yeah.
Why is it so important now for social media?
I think for social media and especially for business owners, SEO is really important because it's a set of optimizations that you can make that you don't have to spend money on, right? So if you do it right, if you do it well and you do it consistently, you'll get like access to a wider set of audience, more traffic for like very little to no money. So I think that's why like it should be a more prominent role in your strategy if it's not already.
That's a great point. And on social media specifically, now it kind of can get your content in front of more viewers, and that's basically the goal, correct?
Yeah, and especially nowadays, especially with TikTok, with Gen Z and millennials, so almost 40% of them are using TikTok to search for something. So that's a wide range of audience that you could potentially speak to by using SEO.
I love that. Yeah, SEO or TikTok is definitely being used as a search engine. This is something that has been in conversation on the app for a while now, and it is wild to see it becoming a competitor with Google. So
yeah,
it feels like now more than ever, it's more important to know about SEO and implement it into your social. Just as another way, like Aurora said, it's free, it doesn't cost money, it just costs time to kind of boost your content. How can creators or brands kind of use SEO on TikTok? Like how do you translate that into TikTok?
Okay, so with any kind of SEO strategy, playing well with any kind of algorithm, you have to know what the ranking factors of your certain search engine is. So let's go over the 3 ranking factors for TikTok.
And what is a ranking factor?
Ranking factor is what the algorithm is looking for to try and to figure out who and what to serve you your content to. Okay. So the first ranking factor that we're going to talk about is video information. So the algorithm is going to look at things that are just on your videos. We're talking about like the words in your captions, what hashtags you're using, what sounds you're using, what filters you're using. They're going to use all that information that you've put on your video to decide who to show your content to.
So that includes, like you said, the captions, the text in the video too?
Yep. So anywhere that you could put text, that's going to be used by the algorithm, the search engine, to decide what your content is about and who to show it to.
Okay.
Cool. So the next ranking factor is user interactions or engagement data. So videos with more likes, more views, more comments, more profile views, more like if more people watch your video through the entirety and then rewatch it again, all that is going to be looked at by the algorithm. So like if they see like a lot of engagement on your videos, they'll be like, oh, people really like this, let's show it to more people. So really important to put CTAs on your videos if you haven't been doing that already, because it encourages that kind of engagement.
Yeah, and I did hear too that TikTok, the way the algorithm works, supposedly, I don't know 100%, no one really knows 100%, is that they will take your video and show it to a smaller like test group of people, and then if it does well with that test group, they'll push it out to a bigger audience. So I think SEO then really is important, like once you get into that search group or that test group, to do as much as you can in order for it to like trigger the algorithm to push it out to more people. Cool. What is the third?
The last one is arguably something that we don't have control over, and it's your device settings, your location and your language settings. So for example, if you live in Louisiana, you're likely not going to see content from people in South Korea, for example. You might, but you might not. But that's just the last ranking factor that they're going to take into consideration.
Okay, that makes sense. So then how exactly do we get these ranking factors that we do have control over? Like, well, how do we optimize those?
Yeah. So let's go over some basic kind of ground rules for SEO optimization and SEO research. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is do some user research. Whenever you're doing anything for SEO, the first place you want to start is your user, because if your content doesn't resonate with a user, it's not useful, then it's not going to be seen by anybody, right? So start with your user research. Be really, really specific on who you're trying to reach, who they are, what gender they are, if that's applicable to your business, where do they live, where do they hang out, and once you've figured out those kinds of details, go into TikTok and find those people. Like, where are they, like, what content are they looking at? What content are they watching? Go into the comments and like read what they're asking for. Make note of everything that they're asking for, because that's all ideas that you could make for your videos.
I do have a note on that. Researching on TikTok, again, using it as a search engine, is one way that you can find this audience. So if you have a niche or like a video idea or a topic that kind of is resonating with your audience that you want, the community that you want to build, you can type in, again, those keywords. You can type in keywords into TikTok and filter the data by recent. So you can do like 6 months, you could do this week, you could do 24 hours. You could filter it by how many people have watched it, how many engagements it has, etc. And then look at those videos and see what they're talking about, what the people are commenting on and asking about, and that kind of can help you kind of nail down the audience that you're looking for, and then be able to create content that resonates with them.
Cool. So, but once you find your audience, like, now we're getting into the meat of it. Like, how do you find what keywords to use? I mean, unfortunately, right now, since TikTok is kind of really emerging as a marketing space, we don't have a keyword research tool like we do for Google that's just for TikTok, but that doesn't mean that it's impossible. So what I would do if it was me is I would go into your TikTok, go into the search bar and start searching something. For example, if you're a cookie company, start typing in cookies, and then it's gonna auto-populate for you. A lot of suggestions are gonna come up. And you can use that as a kind of guideline into what people are actually starting to look for when they search cookies, for example. So make a note of all those things and take note of the ones that are appropriate or are relevant to your company or your business. The next place I would go to in terms of like keyword research on TikTok is, again, do a little search and then hit the hashtag tab, and that will give you like a list of hashtags relevant to your search query. But what's great about that is that it includes like a little metric off to the right side. It'll be like 4.3 million views, and you can get that number and use it as a metric for how popular that certain hashtag is. So if you wanted to reach a wider set of audience, go for the higher ones. Know that there's going to be a little bit more competition though, because there's a lot there, but you can gauge the popularity of a certain keyword based on how many people are viewing it.
Interesting. Okay, and like when you were talking about using the search bar and seeing the suggestions, that's basically like on Google when you start typing something and then like they auto-populate popular questions, right?
Right. Yeah, and that's not an exact science, of course, because we don't have, numbers associated with those, but it's the search engine trying to answer what they think that you're going to look for. So it's a good clue into what people most likely click on when they search that.
Yeah, and that's also a good exercise in placing yourself in the shoes of the audience that you're trying to connect with, because now you have to think, what are they searching for? Like if I'm a cookie company, like what do people want to know? Do they want to know about gluten-free cookies? Do they want to know about icing the cookies? Et cetera. And like you can just start playing around with the questions that people might be asking by, I think, even just like typing in like the first word, like, right, and then it will just populate.
Right. Right. And like, don't be constrained to just what you see on those search results. Like, get really broad or get really narrow with it. So if you're a cookie company in New Orleans, like put that location tag there and see what comes up. And maybe that'll bring you into like a whole nother set of audience that you didn't know that you could have access to.
I love that. It's a lot of trial and error, but it is worth it for sure. Especially as the point was already made, like it's not something that you're putting money into, it's something you're putting time into.
Yeah.
Cool. So those are those like the main ways that basically that we can optimize, or how when we're making a video can we use like keywords to kind of like trigger this algorithm or trigger it?
Yeah. So once you've done all that research, you have a long list of keywords that you've hopefully pulled from, the search bar and what have you. Group them up into families. So like maybe there's a how to make cookies or how to store cookies or like where to find things like that. Group your keywords into families that make sense. So, and then that's going to be really important for keyword strategy or content strategy that we're going to talk about later. But once you have your keyword families, the next thing that you want to do is definitely use them in your videos. What I want to say is like SEO is not a set it once and forget about it. It needs like constant updating, measuring, and trial and error, like you said. But we're going to implement it. So anywhere that you have places to type in text, you want to put your keywords in there. So put your keywords in your captions, put it in like a video descriptions in the title that's actually like on the overlay. of your video, put it in your cover title. But like my suggestion for that is like you don't want to alienate your users and sounding like a robot. So try to weave your keywords in a very natural conversational tone. So and that's a little bit of a skill to do. That's why like SEOs exist, because it's not immediately obvious how to be a person and talk to an algorithm at the same time. So do some trial and error, but use your keywords in your content. Try to say it naturally throughout your video. Weave it into your script if you can. But yeah, just make sure that your content really speaks to the keywords that you've picked out.
And keywords, just to be clear, they're not like one word. Like it's like a phrase, right?
Yeah, and you don't have to like say word for word all the time. Like keywords can be grouped into families, like we said. So as long as that keyword belongs in that family, or like what you're saying belongs in that keyword family, you're gonna be fine.
Could you give us like a bigger example of a family? Like, if for example, like you can use Planoly. Like what would be what would be one family? What would be another family?
So really broadly for Planoly, since we're a social media content planner, our families are Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, YouTube, things like that. So all of our content that falls under Instagram are in that family. So like how to post reels would go into the Instagram family. How to optimize your carousel posts would go into the Instagram family. So things like that. So think of what families that your business has in terms of its overall content topic.
Is that specific to platforms though, or are there like subfamilies? Like within Instagram family, there's like...
Yeah, you could. And you can go as detailed as you want to with this. Like for Instagram, for example, to your example, we have, you can break that family down into reels. You can break it down into carousel posts or just static posts or, events or stories or things like that. You can break your families down into whatever you want, but just make sure that when you do that you are speaking to like a keyword that has some volume to it and that people want to know.
And by volume, you mean like people have searched for it? Okay. Amazing. How can people, are there like any websites or any like thing that you can kind of get people to find keywords?
For TikTok specific ones, I don't think I have one. And if you know of one that's just like nothing we're not aware of, like let everybody know. But if you want to know in general, you can use, again, like the Google search bar itself to get some ideas, because they also have an auto-populate function. If you have some money laying around, you could use the site Ahrefs. That site will give you YouTube suggestions. So if you're in YouTube and you want to make some YouTube shorts, for example, you can use Ahrefs to get some keyword ideas.
Okay, awesome, cool. Let's talk more about how to like include this into your social strategy, because it's kind of a broad topic, as you've seen. Like Aurora is an expert and she has 8 years of experience. Someone like me, I'm not in the SEO world necessarily. I'm kind of starting. So how would I kind of use these, all this information? How do I boil it down into a strategy? So first, and interrupt me whenever you need to, what I'm thinking now based on all this information is typically we break our strategy into content pillars, and our strategies are already diversified for our platform. So we have a TikTok strategy, we have an Instagram strategy, we have a YouTube strategy, etc. For TikTok, we have specific content pillars, and our content pillars are basically broad topics that will resonate with the audience that we have. So it could be like educational videos on like how to use our product, or how to hack the TikTok algorithm. It could be more entertainment videos, would be a different content pillar. So maybe it's trending sounds, maybe it's like us going around the office and asking everyone weird questions or being funny. So once you have your content pillars, like if you're a service-based industry or business, it could be behind the scenes, or how do you make like if you're a salon, like, oh, here's a day in the salon, a day in the life, or like a get ready with me, etc. So once you have your like pillars, then you can start creating keywords for each pillar and the families basically for each pillar. And again, research basically here is key, from what I'm understanding.
Yeah.
So as much research as you can do. And I mean, if you're already on TikTok, it's not that hard to do research, especially like, for example, I get fed content all the time that is about Planoly. It's about our audience. That's information that like I've already been searching for, and now it just gets fed to me. So a lot of times I am clued in just by the algorithm. And then if I'm not getting anything that I need to see on the algorithm, I'll go do some searching. And I already kind of talked about it, but I'll just give another recap. Like, use the search bar on TikTok, and make sure you filter the results. So search for stuff, filter the results. If you want more, I would do more recently. So maybe within like the past 6 months, the past few months, the past week even, and then go by the amount of engagement. So you can filter it by like most viewed or most liked, and just see what people are searching for. What are people talking about in their videos? What are people commenting and asking about? And that will give you an idea of which keywords you should include within your families for your strategy. Do you have anything else to add to that?
I think what I would say is, like, don't be afraid to experiment also. Like, if something doesn't fit completely with one of your keyword family and you just want to see if it works or not, try it. You know, you never know what you will get when you try and experiment with something. So even if it doesn't fit cleanly into a keyword family, try it. And maybe, you know, you'll get lucky and it'll become its own new, more fun keyword family that you can make more content towards.
Yeah, and I think TikTok is all about experimentation anyways. And again, there's no like one size fits all answer when it comes to algorithms. They're always changing. The people on them are always changing. The types of content that start getting popular are always changing. I mean, TikTok in 2020 is a completely different like thing than TikTok in 2023. So don't be afraid to like take risks, experiment a little bit, and just see what works. Once you find something that works, like, keep going with it. When it stops working, try something else.
Yeah, and don't be discouraged by how long it takes. Like, SEO admittedly is a long con. Like, and unlike with paid ads, then, you know, you can just put some money down and you get instant results. SEO is more of the groundwork and laying down like very good practices so that your content can, we've seen content that like you put up and it doesn't do anything until like 2 weeks later. Mm-hmm. So, you know, don't be discouraged if you're seeing little results. Keep tweaking and keep trying new things.
Yeah, and I think with TikTok and with anything, consistency is key. So just keep plugging away. Something's going to take off. You never know what. But also building a community is the most important part, which is why understanding your community is such a huge part, and SEO falls into that.
Yeah.
I think we could probably go into the Q&A portion now.
Let's do it.
All right. Let's see. Just to nip this one in the bud, we are going to be uploading this video to YouTube. So we'll have it up probably within the next day or two, and we'll share that link out on our socials. So you guys can definitely view this later if you had to drop out, or if you just want it for your reference. It will be up in a permanent spot. This is an interesting question. Are thumbnails picked up by SEO? I think this is referring to like the covers on your video, right? Like when you're about to post and it says, you know, you can edit the cover. Are they picked up?
I think certain aspects of the cover will be important. So for example, like you can add like, what do you call it? A title? Mm-hmm. A title to your cover. That part of it, since it's text that you type in, that can be a good place for a keyword. So definitely that's an important part of it. But in terms of like what image that you use there, I don't think that that's as important for SEO. You can correct me if I'm wrong.
No, I would agree with that. I think anywhere on the video or within like the video creation process that allows you to put text in is an opportunity for that text to be like read by the algorithm. So I would say yes. And also like those little thumbnails are the first thing that you see when you're like on someone's page, or when you're searching, even like when you're searching on TikTok and like the first few results show up, like the first thing you usually see is the little title card. So I think that's like an important thing and shouldn't be overlooked for sure. Like I would say as simple as you can make it, and those, you know, you can't put a lot of text in those little boxes. So concise keywords that get right to the point. So if someone's on your feed and they're looking for something and they can just home right in on it, that's what you want to do. Let's see. Should SEO keywords be different on each platform?
That depends on what you want to do, right? So if you're just like a small business, you're just starting out on social media, that's really overwhelming. So pick one consistent strategy that you can be consistent with and use that throughout all your social media profiles. That once you get more time into all those profiles, you do this long enough, you're going to start picking up some intricacies between each of your social media profiles, and you can tweak that strategy across. But if you're just starting out, pick one strategy that you really like, keyword families that you really like, and that use that throughout all your platforms.
All right. Would videos without on-screen captions be a disadvantage with SEO? I mean, I think yes. I think that you should always have captions, personally, but I'll let you speak on that.
Yes, I don't know if I would say disadvantage. I would say that using it would give you more of an advantage than if you didn't use it, because again, like that's more places where you can, put a keyword in, and your scripts and what you say in your content. TikTok does look at that in terms of like, what is this video about? So if you have control over it, then definitely like think about doing that.
Cool. Yeah. I think, again, yeah, okay, I don't know if it's like a disadvantage, like you said, but I think, again, anywhere that you can put things in that the algorithm will pick up, in order to encourage your video to like go out to a bunch of people, I think you should take advantage of.
And beyond that, like, doesn't matter what social platform we're talking about, TikTok, Instagram, Pinterest, what have you, they like it when you use their stuff. So that's also another reason to start using those features.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a generally good tip, is that when these platforms start rolling out new features, definitely jump on them and try them out, because they're, if they're promoting a feature, they want people to use it, and the people that use it, they're going to start pushing out. So if you can get on those and use the native features within each app, it's always recommended to do that. Let's see, if you work in the tourism industry, let's see.
If you work in the tourism industry that can have lots of potential keywords, how should they pick the best or narrow down? That's a great question. And my answer for that would be, as speaking as an SEO person, if you have lots of areas to cover, I would pick the top 3 highest priority for your business. So whether that's spring break content or whether that's Christmas content, pick your top 3 and just really focus on those for the next quarter or what have you, and put all your manpower on that, and then measure how that goes, and then pick the next 3 for the next one. But don't go too broad, you'll get really, really overwhelmed. So pick the top 3 most important areas or categories for your business and start there.
I love that. Let's see. How can you track KPIs with individual keywords to experiment with? I think this really just boils down to analytics, and checking the analytics and seeing like which ones perform best for you. What do you think about that?
I have a fun hack for this actually.
Oh,
so
absolutely.
If you want to see if the keyword optimization that you're doing on your video is working, try this. So go to your profile, pull up one of your videos, and then play one of your videos. And on top of it, there's going to be a little search bar there, and there's going to be a word in that search bar. If that keyword in your video is what you optimized it for, then you did a great job. The algorithm thinks your video is what it is. But if there's no keyword there, or it's completely off, then you would know that you have some room to improve on your keyword optimization. So fun little hack.
When this person says, when you say keyword, do you just mean a word that is searched for or a hashtag? So keywords are different than hashtags, but I mean, they can be used in hashtags, correct?
Yeah, a keyword is basically anything that you want to be found for. So like if somebody types in cookie company in Austin and you want to show up for that, cookie company Austin is a keyword. You can use that as a hashtag, but you don't really have to if you don't want to.
Yeah, I would say hashtags are a little bit more concise. Keywords can be phrases, again, so it's not quite a hashtag. Like I could use the hashtag content creator, but I wouldn't necessarily just want to put content creator in as a keyword. I would want to kind of elaborate on that and make it a little bit more specific, like how to become a content creator or something like that. Let's see. What 3 tips do you have for a business just starting out on TikTok? I can give you general tips. Aurora, do you have any SEO specific for people that are getting started on TikTok?
My first thing would be like to really investigate your users. Like who are they? Like where are they hanging out? What types of content are they gravitating towards? Get to know the people in your audience really well and where they hang out, and that'll give you a lot of information on where you should go in terms of like should you do more serious content or more fun content. Like really start with a user research would be my first place to go if you're a new business.
Honestly, that's pretty much in line with what I was going to say as well. Like just generally, not from an SEO perspective, like you really, to be successful, like, okay, you don't have to have a big following to make money on and have success as a brand on platforms. What you need to have is a loyal community who trusts you and like cares about the content that you're putting out. So like honing in on that user or customer or whatever is going to be the most important thing, and then you can build your entire strategy off of that. You can make your content pillars off of that. You can do your keyword research off of that. So as a business, I think really narrowing down your customer and understanding them is going to be the most important thing. Let's see what else we got. How is it best to figure out what words to research when you market a niche business?
That's a really good question, because the more niche that you get, the lower the volume would be on a keyword, just speaking from an SEO perspective. So what I would do is, once you get to those really, really small numbers, is try to broaden it a little bit. Go upwards in the funnel, if that makes sense. It's like, so if your really niche business is making friendship bracelets on Etsy, maybe you broaden that a little bit to friendship bracelets, and maybe you go up to bracelets. So just try to broaden the topic that you have and try to reach new audiences that way. That could be one suggestion. Or you could double down on your niche. So be like, I make friendship bracelets in Austin, and just,
Build
start
some
with
volume.
there.
Build some volume on that.
Build some volume on that. Try it out.
Let's see. If you upload a video with text already included versus adding it through TikTok, do you get dinged? Not necessarily. I do think it's best to use, like, if you can upload a video without text and add the text in app, I think that's just the best practice in general. I don't know if you necessarily get dinged. I just think it's another missed opportunity in a way. But there are tons of videos that I see on Reels, for example, that I can tell are originated from TikTok because of the text, that still do really well. So it's not necessarily a clear-cut answer, but I would say best practice is to use the in-platform features and editing tools when you can. That's not always doable for people, especially when you have so many different platforms and so many different algorithms that you're dealing with. Sometimes you just have to create it in one and post it to the others, and that's fine. Again, going viral shouldn't necessarily be your goal. It's really you want that slow, consistent audience community building. Yeah. And that's what's going to help you monetize.
Yeah, I think of that specifically for if you're a photography or a videography business, right? You want your videos that you put on your socials to look really, really nice. And so you're going to have different software that you use to, maybe edit those videos and put that text in. So I understand what you're saying, but that's not really going to get picked up as metadata from, or words on video, but you have other areas to optimize as well. So put a lot of your strategy in your captions, maybe, and your hashtags and things like that, and to make up for that kind of gap with those videos that you have.
Yeah, this person says, does that count with CapCut text? Honestly, I'm not sure. I mean, I know that TikTok does own CapCut, so yeah. I don't know if there's I don't even know what really metadata is, but if there's metadata in there that can recognize that it's CapCut, I'm not really sure.
Metadata is just words associated with your content.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I think, again, what we said already kind of goes with that as well. So it's always recommended to use in-app, but it's not necessarily going to hurt you.
Yeah. That's a good place to investigate, though. What is the relationship between CapCut and TikTok in terms of content?
In the algorithm? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a great area, actually. We can definitely look into that. And any answers that we aren't confident or aren't 100% sure on are still great, that we can make videos and do research and make videos on. So definitely give us a follow if we don't get to your question, or if there's other things that you want to know. We are keeping note of all the questions, and we can definitely address those in videos after the live. Let's see. How much time would you invest in user research, and how do you know when you have enough info?
I would say once you have a clear picture in your head of who you're trying to talk to and who your audience is, then you have enough information. For example, in Planoly, I know that we kind of knew that we had enough once we had a name for that person. So whatever that is for you, maybe it's a name, or maybe they're just the person in your head is very clear and you can talk to them in your content, then I think you'd have enough information.
Yeah, it's also just a general marketing tip. To personify your audience, and that's something that we definitely do here. Ours is called Hannah, So we talked to Hannah.
If you're Hannah, hey.
Hi, Hannah. But you really just want to like boil down who that person is and really like kind of give them, I mean, you could literally give them a name, but know exactly like who they are, what they like, what their interests are, what their job is, like, you know, how much money do they make, like, etc. Oh, hey, Hannah. I think that is just a general like marketing tip that everyone can benefit from, is to just really nail down your consumer. How much time? Oh, whoops. I think that's. Yeah, I think that's kind of, let me see, is there anything else that we can answer in the comments really quick? Any tips or tricks for a news organization?
News organizations are really content heavy. So I think the strategy for a news organization is like you need to really be on top of trends. So, you know, and yeah, hey, we got trends for you.
We do.
So that would be my number one tip, like along with, you know, knowing what your keyword families are, what areas you're going to report on. And that's going to be hard. Admittedly, it's going to be hard because you want to be the one to be there at the beginning. So
also, you can follow other news organizations, and like even more successful ones are great as like case studies, and see what keywords they're using. Like see how they weave their keywords in. It's a great thing to do with hashtags too. See what hashtags are working for other brands. Like I know Wall Street Journal has a great account and a great strategy. They're always very funny on TikTok, and I enjoy seeing them. So. All right. I think that's all, guys. We're gonna head out, but thank you so much for joining. Really quick plug, if you guys want to try Planoly, we do have a 7-day free trial. We also are offering a discount code right now for 30% off annual plans. It is TikTok 30. Both T's in TikTok are capitalized, so TIKTOK 30 for 30% off annual plans. And I think that's it.
Yeah, thanks so much for joining us. We had a really good chat.
Yes, and give us a follow if you haven't already. Comment on our videos if you have more questions, and we'll try and get to them with our content. See you guys later.
Bye.